today.
We're not going to make a comment today.
What's that?
I guess we could bring it up
Because
today.
it'll be TRC discussion, you know.
Yeah, we can bring it up.
This, you know, they're limited to 2 anyway, right?
Yeah, based on that frontage.
3 on the front. Anyway, I don't know why I didn't see that.
It's okay. It's okay, dude.
If they're like residential driveways, that's fine.
Yeah.
Not
No, I get it. I just happened to scan it, and I happened to see that it kind of popped out. So.
Well, the one drive.
Karen, whenever you're ready.
East is,
Okay.
you know, behind the building. So it's not a small drive.
Good morning. Welcome to the December 6th Walton County Technical Review Committee meeting. Thank you for coming out and participating in this process. First item of business, we have minutes from our previous meeting on November 1st. Do we have comments, corrections? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carried and the minutes are approved. With regard to announcements, the next Technical Review Committee meeting will be in this location on January 3rd, 2018. This will be our last meeting for this year. And there being no further announcements, let's move forward with the project reviews. First item on our agenda is Alderberry. This is a request to approve by development order, and it's been reviewed by Bob Barante.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This, as you said, is a minor development order submitted by JP Engineering LLC, and their representatives here to address the project. It's on behalf of Warren Investments LLC. They're requesting to approve to develop 10 single-family lots on 5.29 acres, known as Phase 1, with a conceptual approval of Phase 2, 12.53 acres. The property is located from the intersection of East Hewitt Road and Alderberry Road, approximately a quarter-mile east of Atterbury Road. That it is conservation residential, 2 development units, an acre, and 1 development unit, the 2.5 acres. The comments are pretty standard. The applicant is here if he has any questions, and there's nothing that really sticks out that will be a problem as long as they address the comments and not to let them out and turn it over to the applicant.
Yes, sir. We've read through the comments.
Could you state your name for the record?
Yes, sir. Matthew Parker, JP Engineer, Project Engineer.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, sir. We've read through the comments. There's a couple things that we're working on to get some determination on right-of-way and easement. We've been working with the county surveyor on that, along with our title agent surveyor. So I think that we can address all of these comments and get the project moving forward with no problem. We do have an eagle's nest on the site that we're paying particular attention to. Of course, we want to do everything to protect the eagle's nest as well. The influence zone, the good thing is that the influence zone for the eagle's nest is outside the limits of Phase 1. So it shouldn't affect us for Phase 1. For Phase 2, we're working with our environmentalists to come up with a specific plan. There's certain construction times that you have to be very careful with the eagles to make sure that we don't affect them in any way. And it's mostly timing of construction. And so we're working very closely with our environmentalists to make sure that we look out for that eagle.
Okay. Do we have a traffic report yet on this project?
No, sir, not yet.
From me.
Any other outstanding submittal requirements, Bob?
I believe that, well, as you know, that there's a house situation in mosquito control, so we have not been receiving comments from them. I don't believe there's any further outstanding, but there is, I will forward them to the applicant stage or federal guidelines for that?
I think that would be appropriate.
Okay, that'll be another condition that'll be placed if the committee decides to consider this. So I have no other comments.
And just to be clear on the traffic, I did receive a traffic report. I didn't have any comments, and that's why it's not listed in here. Once all the engineering comments are addressed, then I'll issue the fair share letter. If
Okay.
that's what you're questioning.
Yeah. I mean, one of the engineering comments is please provide traffic impact analysis.
Oh, I apologize. I was thinking, because typically I won't issue a letter and that question comes up, but yeah, I guess we needed to receive that. I'm sorry. He'll get that to me.
Is it possible that we can get these comments addressed and the traffic analysis submitted and reviewed prior to the January 3rd TRC?
Yes, sir.
It looks like a pretty straightforward project. The comments are within reason and can be easily addressed. However, without the traffic report today, it's hard to conditionally approve it today. My suggestion would be that we continue it to January 3rd to give us time to review the traffic analysis and make sure all these other comments are addressed. We could probably get to development order pretty quickly after that, if that would be acceptable to the applicant. We have a recommended motion, Bob?
Mr. Chair, there's public here to speak.
Yes, since this is a minor development, we will open a public hearing and take comments from our audience. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm Christine Conway, and I live on East Hewitt Road, and I did, I was listed about the Eagle, that's what I'm mainly concerned about is the Eagle Nest location, and I did talk with Mr. Benetti. Yeah. Close enough. And he gave me paperwork on the plat, and I was wondering, can you tell me if the conceptual approval of Phase 2, does that come back before you before Phase 2 is approved?
Yes, ma'am, because it would be considered conceptual here, they would have to come back for the detailed technical plan.
I see. So can I ask if they would, if you would ask that they recommend putting the Eagle Nest location on their survey and their wetland boundaries? I've got on my map that you have on the at the county appraiser's office, the wetland area goes into those 3 lots that are along the bay pretty extensively, where they want their road and their I was wondering about the road going up. Where is the culverts or drainage for the rest of the wetlands that are in this interior of the property, whether that can be stated on the...
Mr. Chair, I've already asked the applicant to provide a blowout window on future submittals for Phase 2 to clearly define the Eagle's Nest, and he has agreed that he will.
We're very interested in making sure that all of the protections related to a threatened, endangered, or listed species are adhered to, and we will make sure that is addressed in the future submittal. And I'm sure the applicant is very interested in that also from a marketing standpoint of his proposed development.
Yeah. Okay, and so that will, the wetland also about the water culvert or bridge going on that road that they have going up onto their 3 lots on the bay.
We'll already have to show that in his resubmittal for that.
All right. And will this be at the January 3rd meeting that
For
they
Phase
will...
2, I would not expect it would be.
No, Phase 2 will not, and another reason that we divided the project into 2 phases is for phase one, which doesn't impact any wetlands at all. And then the second phase, you're correct, we do have some wetland impacts. I don't think they're as dramatic. We've had the wetlands located and have worked around those. And that's the reason that phase two will lag behind, because we've got a lot more detailed work to do along the lines of dredge and fill permitting and getting an eagle protection plan together with our environmentalists.
Okay, and you will be getting letters from the Fish and Wildlife or coordinating with
We'll
them?
have to work with them on that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Are there any more comments from our public? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. We have a recommended motion to continue this item to January 3rd, 2018. Do we have any further questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye. Well, actually, we have a recommended motion. Can we actually have the motion from the
Motion.
dais? We have a motion
Second.
and a second to continue this item to January 3rd, 2018, in this location at 8:30 a.m. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carries. That brings us to item number 2, the Point Washington Preserve. Request to approve a final order. It's been reviewed by Bob Baranti.
Mr. Chair, thank you. This is a major development order application submitted by Nautilus Civil Engineers Incorporated on behalf of Southern Hybrid Homes LLC, requesting technical approval to operate 693 square foot of multi-purpose building, as well as 5,247 square feet of civic pavilion. The applicant is also asking for conceptual approval of phase 2, 3, and 4. The project is located from the intersection of US Highway 98 and J.D. Miller Road, north for approximately 0.7 miles. It's on 9.76 acres and it's Town 1 Center. Mr. Chair, this project does have open code violations, as you're aware, pertaining to this development, and the applicant is trying to mitigate those violations by going through the DO process and obtaining a sign, a sign permit. The sign permit application, as per directed by staff, is in-house waiting for this project. If you look at on page 5, I have broken down the phases and the information for each phase. Right now, we're just asking for technical approval of phase 1, which is, you're aware, it's already existing. The comments don't seem to be anything dramatic. However, I have not received any from the fire marshal, so that may change things as well if he finds the road is not compatible. Once I get those comments, I will forward them to the agent, and I'm just looking through, and I believe the floodplain manager reviewed all the phases to make comments, so the applicant is aware of what may come in the future. I have some just standard comments, and the codes are the conditions of recommendation are the normal, and except that I've added he must obtain a sign permit, and also all code enforcement fines and fees must be paid before the development order is issued. The agent is here today, Curtis, and he will gladly answer any questions you may have. So I'll turn it over to Curtis. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Curtis Smith, Nautilus Civil Engineers. Like Bob said, it looks like there was some extensive comments on floodplain, but we're actually not doing anything in floodplain at the moment. So I think that's going to apply later. We did have a couple of planning comments we didn't have on the first round that I want to clarify. One was signed and sealed survey. I believe that was included in the first and middle.
Okay, I just had a copy that I just made that comment because it may have been sent by processing out. That's fine.
Okay. Building elevations, would some pictures suffice since it's existing? We don't really have feelings about that.
I think that, since they exist, we'll take the real photo.
outdoor lighting, and those sorts of things. I mean, we just have some comments here that I didn't have in the last submittal, so this will verify. So, I guess those couple of things we'll just talk about offline and see what is actually needed. But I think that's it. That's the only technical comments we had to apply was those few on the back. So we're ready to move forward.
Minus the fire marshal's comments. Fire marshal.
Based on, I did review it, I just have not submitted comments. Based on what I saw, it appears to meet our requirements for phase one. As we move forward, though, we're probably going to need to talk a little bit.
Subject to Sammy's comments, it appears that this project is in a position to be able to address comments prior to getting to Planning Commission. Do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but I have a question first for one of the board members. I haven't received anything from the health department on this site. Is there anything on there, ma'am, that would concern you for phase one?
Well, the only thing that we haven't seen, who is regional providing water and sewer?
Yeah, they actually already have service. This thing was built as a development order exemption originally, and then he changed the use of it, so that's kind of why we did that split. And then it kind of kicked over into a lot of town center one comments, that's why we did the master plan. Regional currently serves this.
Okay, yeah, that, for phase one, that was our only concern.
Well, so if there's not going to be any, substantial comments from the health department, then I'd like to make a recommendation that we conditionally approve pending successful resubmittal of the project, and all comments have been addressed. And then once that happens, we will schedule it for the Planning Commission.
Okay, we have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion of the dais?
Motion.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? And this is a major development order. There will be public hearings at Planning Commission and Board of County Commission. Do we have any technical comments from any member of the audience before we move forward with the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This motion carries. We'll move forward to Planning Commission upon satisfaction of comments. The next item is the Nicias Small Scale Amendment, item number 3. This is a request to approve by ordinance. The small scale amendment application is submitted by Daryl Barnhill and has been reviewed by Bob Baranti.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This application, the small scale amendment is to amend the Walton County Comprehensive Plan, future land use map designation on 9.75 plus or minus acres from conservation residential 2-1 to light industrial. As you said, Mr. Barnhill's representative is here. The project is located from the intersection of Walton County 393 and US 98. It's almost a half a mile down south on County Route 393. The site is on the east side of Walton County 393. This has been continued, so it's meeting today, and currently the site is vacant, but there's remnants of a nursery that was operated there.
It's still moving it out.
Okay, the nursery's still there. The revised compatibility analysis seems to meet the county standards, so staff would like to turn over for review by the applicant.
Thank you, Bob. We have an intended use.
It's going to be an light industrial park. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is there. It's across the street from another industrial park, so I suspect it's going to be kind of a mirror of that. There are some wetlands and things that they have to work around, so that'll come during the technical phase. But I anticipate it to mirror what's across the street.
And that will be an important question when we get to Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners.
I'll ask the applicant to
Uh-huh.
address that.
And it speaks to statement of need. Why are we changing land use? What's the proposed development plan?
I'll ask them to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we've received no letters of objection or support as of this morning.
We do have light industrial directly across the street. This will have public hearings at Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners. Do we have any technical comments from the audience related to this application? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. I make a motion to conditionally approve pending successful resubmission of the project, and then we will set the date for the planning commission.
Were there any comments to address?
There's a few, yes. He'll do a resubmittal and get. We have a couple technical issues. We're having problems printing out the whole compatibility analysis scoop, so we need things broke out. So he just has little things to do. It shouldn't be much of an impact on the applicant to get it ready for the planning commission.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second to move this item forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of comments. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to Planning Commission upon satisfaction of comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I will turn it over now to Tim Brown.
Item number 4, San Roy Sands. This is a request to approve a final order. It's a major development that's been reviewed by Tim Brown.
Yeah, good morning. This was continued from our last meeting. It's a major development order application submitted by Finkley Engineering requesting approval to develop 3 single-family lots on 0.63 acres with the future land use of neighborhood infill. It's located at 86 Beachside Drive. Since our last meeting, a new compatibility analysis was submitted, and it just needs a couple tweaks to be in compliance. It's head and shoulders above the original that was submitted, but it's not quite in compliance. And I'll turn it over to Ross.
Ross Binkley, I'm the agent for the applicant and also the engineer of record. We're working on the comments. There's nothing major that I see in the comments that would cause any kind of major changes to the project from a 3-lot subdivision. And we anticipate resubmitting pretty quickly.
These lots are going to be oriented east and west?
Yes, on the current plan, yes and west.
Can I ask you why, from a design standpoint?
The applicant, there was a condominium plan to the south, and the applicant felt that that would give them better views, I guess, I don't know. That
Well-
was their desire, their decision.
The condominium building that was previously approved is likely not going to be built. That's likely going to turn into about 5 single-family lots, 4 to 5 single-family dwellings.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if that would impact it.
That may.
Certainly, all the rest of the lots there are oriented north and south to maximize Gulf view.
Sure.
Recognizing there was going to be a large building there, but you may want to consider.
Yeah, I will. I'll let them know.
There's a proposed settlement in that lawsuit that might impact this site and what you propose to do and how you orient those. Now, granted, that settlement's not final yet, but
Okay.
we expect to be receiving a revised project as a settlement of that particular lawsuit. There'll be 4 single-family lots, one of which will have a duplex on it, on the western end.
Good to know. Appreciate it. I'll let them know.
So that might
Possibly.
be a significant impact to this particular site from a design standpoint. You may have more opportunity.
Right, right. I'll let them know. I'll get with the applicant.
Certainly, I think our preference would be to have the driveways on San Roy as opposed to beachside.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions or comments about this particular item? Recommended motion?
With the current comments, I don't see anything that's a deal breaker, so I don't see any reason to move it forward unless you think if they redesign it, they should come back. So my recommendation would be to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues and comments and move it forward to the planning commission.
But for the adjacent project, I don't see a problem with doing that, and it may result in a redesign, but that would be your business decision. And based on the present application, if we think this is approvable, subject to the satisfaction of comments, then we can move it forward.
That's my recommendation then.
Okay, we have a recommended motion to move this forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to Planning Commission upon satisfaction of comments. This brings us to number 5, the Eastern Lake Townhomes, request to approve by minor development order. This has been reviewed by Tim Brown.
Yes, thank you. This item was also continued from our last meeting. This is a minor development application submitted by Emerald Coast Associates, requesting approval to develop 7 townhomes on 0.84 acres with a future land use of B&U. The project is located on the north side of County Road 38, west of Sand Oak Circle and east of Seashore Circle. Since our last meeting, we have not received a resubmittal. I'll turn it over to Dean.
Dean Burgess with Emerald Coast Associates. This project was continued from the last meeting in order to take a look at the preservation comments, I believe, were the ones that were concerning and the reason for continuing. We've met with staff and have filed a variance request to seek a variance to the preservation requirements due to the unique narrow width of the site. That'll run concurrently with the development order application, and I'm hopeful that we're on the before the variance board this month. But I believe that will allow the project to proceed on through review. And I'm here to, if there's any other questions or discussions that we need to have. Otherwise, I don't have any further comments on the comments that we are addressing.
Comments from planning?
Well, this is a, I don't know the email's in here, but it's a minor development. We're going to open up for comments.
This is a minor development, so we'll go ahead and open up a public hearing. At this time, is there any member of the public that wishes to speak on the Eastern Lake Townhomes proposed project? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Well, the environmental comments are the reason it was continued last time was there was concern about them being able to meet those requirements. So I guess, how does the committee feel about moving it forward along with the variance application? The rest of the comments are minor in nature, but the environmental comments are a deal breaker.
As the project's designed presently, if you get the variance from the Board of Adjustment, would that require any change to what you've presently submitted?
It would not require redesign if we receive the variance.
Do we want to conditionally approve it subject to receiving the variance?
Okay. My recommendation then would be a motion to approve the project pending the resolution of all outstanding issues, comments, contingent upon the variance being approved by the zoning board of adjustment and move it forward to the development order stage.
Okay, we have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward subject to receiving a variance from the Board of Adjustment. And I guess if that variance is not approved, this project will come back.
Correct.
All righty. This brings us to item number 6, Greenway Station PUD, formerly known as Midgrove Center PUD. Request approved by final order. This has been reviewed by Tim Brown, and this is a major development order application that will have public hearings before Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners once we clear this step.
Okay, thank you. This item was also continued from our last meeting. This is a major development order application submitted by Emerald Coast Associates requesting approval to develop 8,068 square feet of restaurant space, 15,844 square feet of retail, 13,776 square feet of office, 10 condominiums, and a 75-room lodge on 4.89 acres with the future land use of BMU. It's located 0.35 miles east of the intersection of Eastern Lake Drive and County Road 38 on the north side of County Road 38. We met with the applicant this morning to discuss the parking. Parking was a big issue at our last meeting. They have also informed us that they're going to schedule a community meeting, since it's a redesign from the original that came in and that community meeting was based upon. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Dean.
Appreciate it, Tim. That's correct. In the last TRC meeting, the comments requested that we schedule a community meeting, engage a new compatibility study based on the new site plan revisions. And we have done both of those. They're underway. Our community meeting scheduled for the 18th of December, and we anticipate having our compatibility study shortly after the holidays. So we're underway with addressing those comments, and the parking matter, which was I guess the focal point of the continuance last time. We believe we understand the staff's position on the parking. We'll adhere to it, and we still have code compliant parking for the development. So we will proceed on in that fashion. In our meeting, we discussed coming back in January before the TRC, subject to the compatibility review, and we're fine coming back to TRC in January.
It's also my understanding that this project will propose a PUD overlay ordinance at some point in the process.
That is correct. That'll be included in our responses to comments.
Okay.
And we'll update our PUD document to request that.
Do I understand y'all been working pretty hard with the development that's you're adjacent to, that's on the north side, Greenway Station?
Yeah, Greenway
Or
Park,
Greenway Park.
subdivision, yes, we're working with them as well as the church to our east and forestry to the west. So we've coordinated well with the neighbors to try to get their input.
Okay. We applaud your efforts to work with the neighborhood to come up
Appreciate
with
that.
a project that's compatible and makes good business sense and makes sense for the neighborhood also. So thank you for those extra efforts. Do we have a recommended motion, Tim?
Yes, recommend that we, based on our discussion, that we do continue until January 4th TRC meeting, or 3rd.
January 3rd, I think it is, isn't it? Okay, we have a recommended motion to continue to January 3rd, to give them a little bit more time to complete their meetings and resubmittal. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This motion carries, and this item will be continued to the January 3rd Technical Review Committee at 8:30 a.m. in this location.
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to item number 7, the Bellamy 30A event venue, less than minor. We have a request from the applicant and from the Draper Lake HOA to continue this item to January 3rd, 2018, to allow consideration of an agreement that may have been worked out independent of the county. I believe they have some additional small events scheduled in between now and January 3rd that they have made us aware of. But I feel it's appropriate to continue this item and give them a chance to continue to work together to formulate a solution to allow them to peacefully coexist. Given this development is in village mixed use, it's the kind of land use category that would be appropriate for event venues. However, it is adjacent to 2 residential subdivisions, and we applaud their efforts to try to work together to come up with a reasonable plan that allows both to peacefully coexist. Could we have a motion to continue this item to January 3rd?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will be continued to the Technical Review Committee on January 3rd at 8:30 a.m. in this location. That brings us to item number 8. This one we have a request to continue to January 3rd, TRC also, to allow them to formulate a plan for this particular project in response to staff comments. Could we have a motion to that effect?
Motion.
We have a motion to continue to January 3rd. We have a second.
Second.
And we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This item will be continued to January 3rd, Technical Review Committee at 8:30 a.m. in this location.
Chair, just for clarification, it reads 8:17. So just-
Yeah. It is 2018, not 2017. Thank you, Sammy. This brings us to number 9, the Grace Point Tennis Courts, request to approve by development order. This item's been reviewed by Renee Bradley. It's a minor development order application.
Good morning. This is a minor development order application submitted by Light Engineering, requesting 2 courts and 1 basketball court and related infrastructure. This is within the Prominence Plan Unit Development DRI. The project's on about 0.75 acres with future land use of a traditional neighborhood. This project has very minor comments from planning. I believe Sammy had a couple of conditional comments on his. The one thing I would kind of like to make the TRC aware of is that this is being done on Watersound Beach. Watersound Beach has actually obtained this property from Grace Point, and therefore this is going to be part of the Watersound Beach amenities. There's an agreement between the developer, which is Watersound Beach, and the Grace Point previous developer, so that Grace Point can use the Watersound Beach amenities. So this is a little bit different than what we normally see, and I didn't know if everybody realized that when they were, reviewing it. So I wanted to make you aware of it. But even with that said, we have very minor comments. Now I want to turn it over to Mr. David Smith.
Hey, thank you, Renee. I'm David Smith with Interlight Engineering, and I agree with Renee. The comments are very minor and very straightforward. I will respond, Renee, to your comment. We're not proposing any lighting, so I'll make sure I respond and clarify that when we resubmit. And then, Sammy, we're not proposing, all the infrastructure is built within Grace Point, so there's no infrastructure proposed. But I'll respond accordingly, and everything looked very minor to me, so we have no further question.
One more thing I would like to add, this is replacing the development order that was previously a pool amenity at Grace Point. It's not with it, but replacing.
It will supersede it.
My recommended motion, if there's no public comment, would be to move this forward to the development order stage.
We have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
We have a second. Recommending approval of this development subject to satisfaction of comments. This is a minor development. We'll take a moment to open up the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that has questions or comments related to this proposed application? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And we have a motion on the table. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion approved. This item will move forward to development order subject to satisfaction of any outstanding comments. Okay, this moves us to item number 10, the Alice Beach Block Z and AA. Request to approve by development order, minor development order, reviewed by Tim Brown.
Okay, thank you. This is a minor development order application submitted by Interlight Engineering, requesting approval to construct 21 residential lots in Block Z and 8 residential lots in Block AA with associated improvements in the Alice Beach PUD on 4.98 acres with the future land use of T&D. Project's located on the north side of West LaGarza Lane, east of North Bryson Street, and south of South McGee Drive. The comments were all minor. It's a pretty straightforward residential project, and I'll turn it over to David.
Thank you, Tim. I'm David Smith with Interlight Engineering, and we have reviewed the staff report. We have no questions. Everything's very straightforward, and I agree with Tim, it's minor. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Any questions from the TRC? Since this is a minor development application, we'll open up a public hearing. Are there any technical questions or other public comments from the audience? Seeing none, we'll close that public hearing and we'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, my recommendation, a motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues, comments, and move forward to the development order stage.
Okay, we got a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carries. This will move forward to development order subject to satisfaction of any outstanding comments. That moves us to item number 11, Alice Beach Lot PP2 and PP3 replat, request to approve by final plat. This has been reviewed by Tim Brown also.
Yes, thank you. This is a minor plat application submitted by Interlight Engineering, requesting approval to replat lots 2 and 3 in block PP of Alice Beach PUD on .114 acres of the future land use of TND. Project's located on the west side of Kings Castle Court, south of County Road 30A. All they're doing is moving the lot line by 1 foot. That's all this is doing. So the comments are minor, and with that, I'll turn it over to David.
Thank you again, Tim. I'm David Smith with Interline Engineering, and I have no questions. Comments are very minor, so I'd be happy to answer any questions you all have.
Okay, as this item will receive a public hearing at the Board of County Commissioners, we'll entertain any technical questions from the public at this time. Seeing none, we'll move forward with a recommended motion.
Yes, recommend approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues, comments, and move it forward to the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, we had a recommended motion. We have a motion at the dais.
So moved.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is...
Chair, I'm going to abstain because I'm not even sure if I reviewed this. So I don't know if I was required to review it or not. So I don't see my comments in here.
Typically on a plat application, we're only moving a lot line. We're not changing what was approved there.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Just didn't want to vote on something I haven't looked at.
We respect that.
Sure.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This motion carries, and we'll move forward to the BCC for final plat approval, subject to any outstanding comments. Thank you. That moves us to item number 12, and the Bayshore Townhomes. We have a request to table this item from the applicant's agent. Could we have a motion to table?
Can I just interject something before you do that?
Sure.
This came in as a minor development. However, under the comp plan in Coastal Center, if you're going to do one single use, in this case residential, it requires conditional use approval. So this application, that's going to make it a major as opposed to a minor development. I just want to make that clear. The applicant has asked to table it, but I just want to make clear it came in as a minor, but it has to be a major.
Okay. Thank you, Tim, for that clarification, and just make sure the applicant's aware of that when they decide to move forward on this particular site. We have requested table. Do we get a motion on that?
Motion to table.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Item number 12, Bayshore Townhomes, is tabled and will be re-advertised when it's resubmitted. That brings us to number 13, the Satinwood 3 million gallon ground storage tank. This is a request to approve by minor development order, and it's been reviewed by Bob Barante.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This application was made by the Florida Community Service Corporation, DBA as Regional Utilities. They're requesting to remove the existing elevated water tank, remove that, and then construct a new ground storage tank, and construct a pumping and control building on 2.50. It's on public facilities, and this is an attempt to maintain the high level of service that Regional Utilities provides for the community. The comments are very minor, and I believe I am still outstanding fire department comments and mosquito control comments. The applicant knows the reasoning behind the fire marshal comments. I haven't seen anything come through my way to resolve the issue. So I know they have a timely you know, a tight schedule, but not having the fire marshal comments, I don't know if there's anything in there that would be substantial that would cause a redesign. So I don't know if we should table this or continue this till the 3rd, or just conditionally approve it pending that when I receive these comments and there's a redesign, or if a redesign is required, then it would have to go back out for review again. So I would leave that decision up to the board. I do not believe anybody from Regional Utility is here today, and since it is a minor, I would be I would like to ask to open it to the public.
Yes, we will open a public hearing. Sammy, would you like to comment on?
Sure. Based on what I reviewed, I don't see an issue with any redesign. The initial design appears to meet our approval. Unfortunately, they've got to go through a petition our board, so in order for me to release the review.
And there was also an engineering review issue on this one that we're trying to resolve.
They've got to go to the South Walton Fire District
They're
Board.
seeking a waiver on the review fee, and I don't have the authority to do so.
I understand.
My bosses require them to come either speak with them or petition the board for that waiver. I just don't have the authority, so.
So the holdup is the request for waiver of paying the fire review fee.
That is correct.
Not any particular aspect
No,
of the
sir,
project.
not from a TRC.
Do you think that can be addressed up or down in a timely fashion?
Our meeting is Monday. If they want to get on in, Bob, if you want to reach out to them, or they can call me. I haven't made contact with them. I figured they would have called me by now.
When I contacted them, I asked them to send me the request letter, at minimum CC me so I have it for the records, and then get it to you, but I have had no. And the same with your issue, I've had nothing returned to me.
Because they're requesting the fee waiver for the engineering review, Public Works was supposed to review it, but I reviewed it before that was known. So that's what he's talking about when there was an engineering review issue. It's not a technical issue at all.
Both of these are payment of fee issues.
Fee
I
issues.
think we can.
It was administratively sent to the wrong engineering reviewer. The letter was in there. Bill was absolutely correct. And it went to the wrong review agency. Though Public Works is going to pick it up from here. Right?
That's my understanding based on our conversation, yeah. We would take Bill's comments and make sure they've been addressed.
I think these fee issues can be worked out at staff level since they don't relate to the project design. They're administrative issues. And in the interest of continuing to move forward with providing good utility service and the schedule for removing that elevated storage tank and replacing it with the ground storage tank, I would suggest that we could move this forward subject to satisfaction of those outstanding items to development order, since they are both administrative. Could I suggest that as a recommended motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to development order subject to satisfaction of those outstanding administrative issues.
Matt, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Lisa Johnson, Bob, you mentioned a timeline. Can you be a little bit more specific as to what that is?
To answer your question that you asked me the other day, their proposed construction timeline would end in June. So that would mean the cow temporary tower permit would still have approximately 4 months. So there's plenty of time to get this done and get everything moved by the deadline for the cow.
June of 2018.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think that concludes that particular item. Let's move to number 14, stock and trade, reconfigure PUD. Request to approve by final development order. This is a major development. It's been reviewed by Bob Baranti.
Yes, I've taken this over from Bob. We talked to the applicant this morning. There was confusion on exactly what the application was because it shows it came in as a reconfigure the PUD. However, we've determined that's not necessary. It's not necessary to amend the PUD or reconfigure anything. So we're going to re-advertise it properly. And because of that, the request from staff is to continue it to the January 3rd meeting so we can straighten out the application and make sure the ad is proper.
Dean Burgess with Emerald Coast Associates. We did meet with staff and we agreed to the conditions that Tim just mentioned.
Thank you, Dean. And we have a request to continue to January 3rd, 2018. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion to continue.
And a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed likewise? There being none, motion carries. This item is continued to January 3rd, 2018, Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. in this location. That moves us to item number 15, the Hilton Garden Inn. This is a major development order request that's been reviewed by Bob Baranti.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This application has been submitted by Emerald Coast Associates Incorporated on behalf of Miramar Beach Lodging LLC. They're requesting approval to develop a 111-unit hotel. The project is located from the proposed parcel from the intersection of US Highway 98 and Scenic Gulf Drive, traveling 0.2 miles. It's on the north side of Scenic Gulf Drive. It's on 2.54 acres and it's coastal center mixed use. The project has received very minimal comments from the review agencies. Planning has made comments. Nothing really, project delaying. Probably the biggest comment was one of the plants that is used predominantly is not on the approved list. That's pretty much it. Everybody else has commented, all the other review agencies commented on it, and yeah, Ken is here to speak.
I concur. We've read through the comments. I believe they can be addressed promptly, and our intent is to try to get on the Planning Commission meeting upcoming in January.
Can you speak to the improvements that are off-site to the adjacent property owners, like the redesign of that dumpster pad, and then, taking the off-site stormwater from the, I assume, previous owner of this land for the adjacent properties?
Yeah, I think you're referring to the plaza to the northwest, which is Poinciana Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, the developer of this project owns an interest in Poinciana Plaza. So there has been some agreements to accept stormwater that previously was going to a small retention pond on this property. We will be accepting that off-site stormwater and putting it into our system. And because he's a common partner between the two, those negotiations can be made fairly easily.
Dean, something else, and I don't know if this has been issued, a comment issued, but in your resubmittal, the separation distance between those access points for your easternmost proposed driveway and the existing one, can you take a look at that? Because I'm not sure it meets that requirement.
Okay. We'll take a look at that, sure.
As this is a major development, this will have a public hearing at both the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners once we reach that stage. Do we have any technical comments from any members of the audience? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
Mr. Chair, since there are no new comments or concerns, staff would like to make a recommendation to conditionally approve pending successful resubmittal and answering of the comments and scheduling it after that for the Planning Commission for its public hearing.
Okay, we got a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to the Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dean. Moving forward on our agenda to number 16, Rolling Dunes. This is a request to approve a major development order. This one has also been reviewed by Bob Barangi.
Mr. Chair, just a little history on this. I'm sure you remember. The initial submittal of this went for a variance approximately almost exactly a year ago today. It was denied to get the parking reduction because of the two fronts. The applicant and his client has met with staff a number of times to try to make something that would be appropriate for that visual site off of 30A. The applicant has come, resubmitted, and is starting the process today. There are, most of the comments are minor in scope that I think that could be addressed. The transportation currency is not met, so there will be a $41,800 proportionate fair share amount. The fire district has no technical comments, have not received mosquito control. There are no code environments. The environmental comments are very minor, and mine are, my comments are more administrative on the plan set. So staff, if there's no public comments, staff would like to make a motion to conditionally approve pending resubmittal, then moving it to the Planning Commission for a public hearing. And the applicant is here if you have any questions for him.
Comments from the applicant?
My name is Tracy Jernigan with JP Engineering. We don't have any questions. We agreed with the minimal comments. We believe we can get that resubmitted back in. We did make adjustments to the original submittal, reduced the footprint, reduced the residential units from 2-bedroom down to 1-bedroom, so we could meet the requirements for the parking without any variance or anything else. So we feel like we meet all the requirements and can get it submitted back in ASAP.
Okay. As this is the major development order, it'll have Planning Commission and BCC opportunities for public hearing. Do we have any other technical comments from the audience at this time? We have a recommended motion?
I recommend to make a motion to conditionally approve pending successful resubmittal of the project and then schedule for Planning Commission for its public hearing.
Okay, we had a recommended motion. Do we have a motion of the dais?
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is moved forward to Planning Commission, subject to outstanding comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
And number 17, which is the last item on our agenda this morning, is the Pando Small Scale Amendment. This item has been reviewed by Vivian Schammel. Can you introduce it for us?
Yes, thank you. This is a small scale amendment request, requesting to go from conservation residential 2 to 1 to low density residential 4 units per acre. It is approximately 2.5 acres, and is located off of South Dino Drive and McKella Lane. This request had previously been denied over a year ago in October 2016. They have come back. There has been an updated compatibility analysis as there has been new development adjacent to the property and additional land use changes. Staff does find that the request is consistent with the land development patterns in the area. And if you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm Scott Jenkins with Jenkins Engineering, and I think Vivian did a good job of explaining it. We received the staff report and reviewed it. Don't really have any questions. As she stated, there's been some pretty significant development changes in the area over the past year and a half, and we're just looking forward to going to Planning Commission.
This item will have public hearings at Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners. Do we have any technical comments about the application itself at this stage? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
I would like to make a motion to request the small-scale amendment be proceed to the Planning Commission.
We got a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sammy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Thank you. This item is approved to move forward to the Planning Commission.
Thank you.
And that being the extent of our agenda, thank you very much. Since this is the last TRC meeting for 2017, thanks for everyone's participation this year. We look forward to a robust technical review committee process next year. And with that said, happy holidays, and we'll stand adjourned.
Thank you, Mac.
Thanks.
Thank you all.